Good evening, visitors. Welcome to the Australian War Memorial's Last Post ceremony. My name is Yana Johnson, and joining us today from the Royal Australian Navy is Commander John Wright. We warmly welcome the family of Private William Samuel Elliott, whose story will be told shortly. We welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that support them. We acknowledge the members of RSL and Services Clubs Association, RSL Victoria, and RSL Queensland who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony across Australia. During the ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the pool of reflection by family and visitors. Please stand and join in singing the national anthem. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit, in the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard their record, which they themselves made. Tonight, we'll read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 102,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and operations for more than a century. But first we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths or floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the pool of reflection.
Today we remember and pay tribute to Private William Samuel Elliott. William Elliott was born in 1884 in Exeter, New South Wales, to Alexander and Mary Elliott. He was the first of 12 children, 7 boys and 5 girls born to the couple. He attended Exeter State School before the family moved to a farm at Namulji, near Lismore. Here Elliott and several of his brothers worked on the farm with their father. Following the outbreak of the First World War, Elliott enlisted for service in the Australian Imperial Force at Lismore on the 30th of October 1916. 2 of his younger brothers, Jack and Frank, had already sailed with reinforcements for the 25th Battalion earlier in the month. Elliott was transferred to Brisbane, where, after initial training, he was allocated to the 9th Reinforcements to the 52nd Battalion. He was transferred to Sydney, where he embarked on the 24th of January 1917 aboard the transport ship Ayrshire, bound for England. After arriving in England in April, he was sent to the 13th Training Battalion, where he remained for a couple of months. On the 8th of August, Elliott was sent to France, where he joined the 52nd Battalion in a camp near the River Douve. Elliott saw his first major battle in late September, when the 52nd Battalion took part in the successful assault on Polygon Wood. He spent December in hospital with influenza before returning to the 52nd Battalion in January 1918. When the Germans launched their spring offensive towards the end of March, the 52nd Battalion, as part of the Australian 4th Division, was rushed south and took up defensive positions near the Encre River. The battalion was involved in the defence of Dernancourt in early April, which helped to blunt the German drive. On the night of the 24th of April, the 52nd Battalion participated in the attack to dislodge the Germans from Villers-Bretonneux. Elliott was in the second wave and was seen to be hit and go down by a member of his platoon during the advance. Initially listed as missing, a court of inquiry later found that he had been killed on the 24th of April. His body was recovered and buried in the Adelaide British Cemetery. He was 34 years old. His brother Jack was killed in June when the 25th Battalion attacked Morlancourt. Frank, who had been wounded twice, was medically downgraded and returned to Australia in December. William Elliott's name is listed on the Roll of Honour on my right, among almost 62,000 Australians who died while serving in the First World War. This is but one of the many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Private William Samuel Elliott, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, and the hope of a better world. They shall not grow old, that we are left will grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them. lest we forget.
Lest we forget. We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Pozières or in the low scrub at Gallipoli, with his poor tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain, has thought in his last moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, that concludes the last post ceremony. We thank you for visiting the Australian War Memorial and we wish you a very good evening.